Willie D Live.
Let's get into this story, fam, about this squatter. Imagine buying a house, buying a property. You paying taxes on this property. And you have someone who rents this property. After they rent for a month, they decide, I don't think I want to leave. And I don't think I want to pay anymore. Family, what would you do if that happened to you? Check this story out. This is wild.
Liabilities are on me and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now that was back in February. Roshane Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation almost 10 months ago. That reservation ended March 29th after 32 days, and Romero hasn't paid another dime. But living in the home for over a month apparently lets her claim some form of tenant rights, and she refuses to let Roshane enter the property.
I never gave her any tenancy. I never gave her a lease.
Roshane tried everything, gave her a 30-day notice to vacate, called police, went to court, and even offered Romero $2,500 to sign a paper admitting she's not a tenant and to get out. Romero signed the document but didn't budge.
And November the 15th came and she told me, this no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving. I went to the police with my order and they said there's nothing that they can do, that I need to go to court, which I've done, and I do not have a court date until December the 11th.
Roshane put this sign up on her home so police and neighbors would know Romero was not authorized to be there. A sign Romero covered with a sheet.
And I need police assistance.
I was there when police helped Roshane cut it down, while Romero hid inside.
It's shocking to me that you would abuse a system like that.
While all this is going on, Romero's social media shows her living her best life on trips and promoting her nonprofit. And Roshane is left paying thousands in attorney fees, the mortgage, and utilities for a home she can't even enter.
The police allowed her to hire a locksmith and break in. She gave them no documents. She gave them no court orders. She gave them no lease. She just came and said, I'm locked out. This is taking me somewhere where I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to stay on the right, but for somebody to just take and do, everybody has a breaking point.
I went back to the property today and saw child services show up because Shadija brought her daughter into the home while there was no power or electricity inside. Police also showed up because the homeowner's truck went missing after Shadija got back in the house. And when Shadija cracked the door open to get a package, I saw what appears to be a candles and essential oils business inside.
This is unbelievable.
That led to a virtual emergency hearing today. In court, it was revealed that Shadija tried to push Roshane off a ladder, took the utilities out of the homeowner's name and put it in her daughter's name, tampered with cameras, requested that Roshane pay her back for the food lost when the power was turned off.
Damn. Talk about a squatter from hell. All right, fam, what y'all doing in this situation? What do you do? What do you do? I mean, let's assume you're a law-abiding citizen. I heard something in her voice. She said, this is taking me to a place to where I don't want to really be. And the homeowner is about that action, I guess, to an extent. She's like, hey, I'm trying to do the right thing right here, man, but, y'all bringing out the worst in me. What I want to know, fam, is what do you do in that situation? What do you do in that situation? Do you cry? Do you make contact? What do you do? I've been in that situation, actually, and I just moved some things around and had some people to, impress upon the person who was trying to squat that it was not a good idea and we could not be responsible for their health. Not me, but them. They got to get up out of that. Look, man, That's just not right. These laws in America, you would think that these laws were written, some of these laws was actually written for criminals. Now, I don't know if they were exactly written for criminals, but I know many of these laws was written by criminals. They were written by criminals. So one would suspect that if they wrote the law knowing how bad that law is, that somehow they were trying to protect themselves or somebody that they're affiliated with down the line. Because it's no way that makes sense where you can rent out an Airbnb and after you stay there a month, because that's what she said. She said, if the way the law works is that if you stay there for 30 days, if you stay in the house for 30 days, you can claim a homestead or something. Not homestead, but you can claim that you live there. You can claim that that's your residence. And now this person has to go through all of these legal loopholes. Nah, man, that's insane. That's insane. It should be real clear. You rented this house for 30 days. On the 31st day, you are trespassing. It's as simple as that. After that, the police supposed to come in and do what they're supposed to do. Or you should be allowed to extract anything inside that house that should not be there. Whether it's a bear, whether it's trash, whether it's regular trash or human trash, you should be able to extract it. So these laws have put a lot of homeowners in bad positions, and it's just not right. I don't get into fairness because, hey, life ain't fair. But I can tell you that's not right. And the people that do it get what they get. Absolutely, they get what they get. I was looking up the squatter laws in the U.S., and they said that there's reportedly thousands of properties with cities like Atlanta and Dallas and Orlando leading the way with significant rises in squatting. Atlanta has over 1,200 squatters a year reported. Dallas, accordingly, has a count of 475. Orlando has a count of 125. Now, it says, according to 2024 National Rental Home Council, NRHC, survey of rental owners, while overall numbers are unclear, squatting often arises in areas with vacant homes and relates to housing crisis and property disputes, not just criminal activity. All right? So squatting often arises in areas with vacant homes and relates to housing crises and property disputes, not just criminal activity. So I was just thinking about this whole squatting thing, and I had a friend in Houston who rented her property out to a family. Busy woman, got a lot of stuff to do, own a lot of property, ain't got time to check on everything. She goes by the house several months later. Maybe she hadn't been by the house in about a year. She drives by the house. The people living in her house has built an entire additional room to her house. They've extended the house. She like, what the hell? So she had to make a move to get rid of it. I mean, they didn't build an entire new wing on the house. absolutely incredible. She was like, yeah, I was just, they was paying their rent on time, and I never had any problems with them. So I just thought everything was okay. And one day I just like, let me just ride by. And she said she saw all these Mexicans in the yard, and it was, like they was coming and going. And she was like, hey, she tried to talk to him like, hey, what's going on? Woo, woo. And she was like, oh, so she had to shut that down. Y'all got to get up out of here, man. How you gonna be renting somebody's property? You renting and build an entire additional wing on the house. Renting. Yeah, fam. It might be time to switch real estate right now, at least until they figure out this squatting thing. Maybe it's time to just go to commercial renting or something, commercial leasing. But this private property renting, this stuff is out of control, man. It's out of control. So here are some key findings in context. Reliable, comprehensive data on squatting across the U.S. is lacking, making exact figures impossible to pinpoint. The NRHC survey focused on single-family rentals, indicating significant problems for landlords in specific metro areas, suggesting squatting can be a renter-landlord issue rather than solely illegal occupation. So, as I mentioned a few moments ago, these are the hotspots. Atlanta, DFW, that's Dallas-Fort Worth, and Orlando were identified as having the highest numbers reported by rental owners. And here are some of the causes and motivations. Squatting can stem from economic hardship, homelessness, or be linked to social movements, often occurring in areas with many vacant properties. Squatters' rights, adverse possession, are legal concepts that vary by state, allowing long-term open and hostile occupation to potentially lead to legal claims, which complicates enforcement. But I'm gonna tell you something. They gotta figure that out before people start getting their heads knocked off.